Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
This is some back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Tuesday morning. Remember, hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you starting your Tuesday here with us, as we will talk to Emory Jones, star-studded freshman, will be in here at 8 a.m. He'll be in studio with us. Compliments of the Gordon McKernan squad, the G squad. He will be here at 8 a.m. What a week to have Emory Jones on. We had planned this interview a couple of weeks ago, and to have him in after he makes his first collegiate start going into this week where he knows he's a starter, it'll be a cool time to talk to Emory Jones just about where he is mentally. This is something that he's talked about and thought about for a long time, and now to have this opportunity to catch up with him this week is a really cool opportunity for our show. So looking forward to talking to Emery at 8 a.m. this morning. If you got a question, comment, anything for Emery, jump inside of the chat. We appreciate you being there. As always, our show's brought to you by Go Chevrolet. Our friends are online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. They got brand new cars down in LaPlace. They got used cars over here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. All of the inventory is online at Go Chevrolet, GEAUXChevrolet.com. And the brand is expanding all throughout Tennessee. I believe they're opening up a new dealership in Tennessee as Go is on fire right now. And it's all about the advertisement that they sent with a little podcast down here in Baton Rouge. I was talking to Nick Richard the other day, and he was like, man, we can't thank you enough for all of the success that the dealership is experiencing with all of the growth and expansion.
Thank you for floating us
statewide. You're welcome.
Guest, really?
Their first guest, first sponsor. It is. They are the best, man. They are the best. Nick Richard and his crew over at Go Chevrolet. Check them out online, GEAUXChevrolet.com. As soon as we say it, there he is inside the chat. So if you're looking to buy a car inside of the chat, holler at Nick Richard. He can put you in one today.
And Silverado, y'all.
Oh, there you go. And we're also thankful for Metropolitan Health Group, real doctors, real solutions. Like we said, we'll talk to Emory Jones coming up here at 8 a.m. We'll jump in to some conversations about the New Orleans Saints as suspensions were handed out after the weekend brawl inside the Dome, and Mike Evans will miss one game. No suspensions for Marshawn Lattimore. No suspension for Lenny. Booga made it out real clean here. I mean, like, as way of the NFL, you rarely are able to kind of squeak by the disciplinary committee, and whatever reason, Lenny has he's living right now because he was not flagged on Sunday or penalized for a shove to the throat.
Instigator, coach.
I mean, like a straight just shove to the throat, and then once the suspensions are handed out, he still was able to squeak by. So congratulations to Booga as he was able to get out of there scot-free.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
No doubt.
He went live on Instagram after the game working out, and everybody's like, look at this gangster. He's doing some kettlebell squats, and I was like, he doesn't even know what he doesn't know. He didn't know that he might be in trouble.
We didn't talk a lot about Fournette and Matthew going head up on each other on Sunday. You could see Tyron's eyes like, oh shit, here he comes straight downhill at me. I mean, this is
back at the park.
The nightmare that everybody has thought of, because Tyron and Leonard always kind of missed each other, right? Like even like on the park when they were kids at the at the playground growing up.
Playground.
Well, I mean, that's what you grow up in New
Yeah.
Orleans. You grow up playing park ball, and you're kind of like represented by your park.
Did they have issues with each other?
No,
They
no,
always-
no. But I mean, like they both went to St. Aug. They're both Tyron's from the 5th Ward. Leonard's from the 7th Ward. They both went to St. Aug. They both went to LSU. They both wore number 7. They were both, like legitimate,
Rushmore
like,
guys.
superstar players, both at St. Aug and both at LSU, and both. You go inside that LSU football building, still carry a reputation to them as like legitimate superstars. I mean, there's like a class of superstar as far as the alumni goes, especially when you step inside of that building and people like Odell and Jarvis and Burrow and Devin White and Leonard Fournette and Tyrann Mathieu. That type of group kind of sits on a different class by itself, and to see those two guys going downhill at each other coming up, I mean, look, man, Mathieu, as we've all said, he's my size. I mean, he's 5'10", 180 pounds. I mean, he might be 195 right now in the middle of the season, but he ain't big. And for Leonard Fournette to be running downhill at you, where it's just you and him in
this
between
during
the goal
fight?
line.
Was this
No,
during the
no,
fight?
this
like
was
second
during the
quarter?
I
game.
didn't see that.
Second quarter, and Lenny puts his head down, and Tyron just, I mean, it's a dump truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
Business
like,
decision.
he's under the bumper of a dump truck. I mean, he's
Right.
like,
If you
and
see
I mean, his legs
his eyes are like
go over
Really?
his head. Yeah, I mean, he's bug-eyed, man. He's thinking like, this is not what I'm trying to like guard people. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to hit this cat in the hole.
I don't play safety
You
anymore.
know what I mean?
Hey, he got rolled up a little bit, but the leg
He
went
did,
up
but he
to
caught
try-
him.
Yeah, he
He
did.
caught him.
Hey,
I mean, I think if
did
just
my job.
by the fact you get him on the ground, that's a win.
Because Lenny went vintage Lenny, where he gets
Lenny
lower
was- he
than
saw
you.
him.
Yeah.
No, he saw him. I mean, he was like, there is Tyrann Mathieu trying to tackle me one-on-one. I'm about to light him up.
That's so scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's very scary. But he did get the tackle. He did get the tackle in true Badger form. You know what I mean? Like,
Somebody needs to put both of those DNAs together when they hit, both spits. Put them in something and make another one.
super baby.
Maybe make a super baby.
what a purple night that would be.
Oh.
But
he'd
that
wear
was
7.
But I believe Jacques, our friend over at WAFB, was at the game, covered it for our friends over at WAFB, our partners over there. And afterwards, he's got good B-roll. If you go to his Twitter account, of Jacques like asking Leonard about his memories of LSU, and then he asks him about the one-on-one with Mathieu, and that's kind of how Lenny describes it. He's like a couple of legends from the hood. Both go to St. Aug, both number 7s at LSU, meeting up in the dome. I mean, that was you couldn't have painted a better picture for those guys. So
I would actually love a picture painted, not of the during, but the right before.
yeah, no doubt. But that was a cool moment, man. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about the Saints as they try to get back on track here in week 4. We also haven't talked about, speaking of the Saints, our friends over at NewOrleans.football, Nick Underhill, who, by all intents and purposes, really is the one that started this independent route for people in media. Like someone that kind of gave the idea that, hey, you don't have to be tied to a corporation. You don't have to be tied to a conglomerate name to, carry on and work what you do. Nick was the first one in our industry, or at least locally here, that I knew of that said, you know what? I'm not putting up with corporate red tape. I'm not putting up with somebody telling me how to do my job. I'm the one with the relationships. I'm the reason why people click on the content and the information. I'm just going to start it by myself. And he started NewOrleans.football 3 years ago, about 6 months before we made the move to go independent for where we were. And I remember when he made the move thinking to myself, like, wow, the nuts on Nick Underhill to walk away from where he was and step out onto his own and go into a subscription-based model where he's just asking his listeners, his readers, his audience to pay for his information, to pay for his content. And today, it sounds like not as big of a gamble. 3 years ago, that was an incredible leap to take as he kind of went out on his own and started NewOrleans.football. Last week, he announced he hired Mike Triplett from ESPN.com. Didn't steal him from ESPN.com, but Triplett's been covering the Saints for ESPN.com for, I believe, the last 5 years, 6 years. Before that, he was with the Times Pick. I mean, a very reputable writer. We've had him on the show countless amounts of time giving us information on the Saints. Last week, Underhill hired him. What a move
That's
for
awesome.
Nick.
Good
I mean,
for
like
him.
straight up, like congratulations,
Yeah.
my guy, man. You deserve it. And it's one for the home team. It's great for our platform. It's great for our industry in this independent role, showing that you can thrive, right? Like, I mean, Nick has not only beat the competition, he's lapping the competition, right? I mean, there's, you know, and I love all of the beat writers down there in New Orleans. They do great work. But I guarantee you there's got to be a section of them sitting in corporate America, sitting in their cubicle thinking, man, I wish I would have made that move. I wish I'd had the nuts to make that move when Nick did it a couple of years ago. Now it's a little easier because the road's been, you know, paved and, you know, it's kind of been gone down and the trail has been blazed by Underhill. But I wanted to make sure and announce that last week when I saw the news come through the wire, just how big that is for us in this independent space of media, of, you know, another, you know, piece of evidence that this works. And this is really where the traditional people are coming over to. I mean, you could scan the room. I mean, the people that have come through this studio and this office over the last 3 months that are tied to corporations, to radio stations, to television stations, that are just curious on what's going on, how you get here, and some of the ways of bringing content to your living room, your office, your, you know, wherever you are.
This is the direction everything's going.
Oh, absolutely.
It's evolution, baby.
Absolutely.
Well, and I mean, look at where he left. He was working for The Athletic for the Patriots, and I don't think he was a big believer in the Patriot way. Like, he had, you know, whenever you get in that place is a steel trap, he couldn't do the
Patriot
job
way.
that he wanted to do. And so he goes back to a team that he enjoys covering, and that's kind of the crux of what we all do here. If you enjoy it every day, it kind of feels, you know, it's more fun at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So kudos. I mean, it takes, like you said, what's Tyreek Hill say? Got to need a wheelbarrow for them nuts, and that's what it takes.
Absolutely. And
That
you know, I
reminds me
mean,
of that South
I really do. I remember. And look, Nick Underhill,
Thought this was America.
he had a choice. You know what I mean? Like, he could have stayed on. He could have kept doing what he was doing. He decided to go out on his own. You know, like, we were kicked out of the plane. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No parachute.
We had no choice. You know what I mean? Like, the suits over there were like, we don't want you anymore. Get out of here. You know, so it was like, what are we going to do now? And it was like, let me look at Underhill. Let me kind of like look at his model and see what he's done and see the success he's having. Maybe we should jump in there. And really, we've kind of followed the trail that he kind of blazed for us in the media world. And now to see him hiring names like Triplett last week just gives you, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know the exact numbers of what New Orleans football is doing, but he kind of gave you a look to the books last week. If he's making moves like that, they're successful.
Got some capital.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're doing good things. So shout out to Nick. Yesterday, Brian Kelly was speaking to the media. Both Katie and I were in the room as Kelly addressed the media for about 25 minutes yesterday, talking about and recapping the Mississippi State win and looking ahead to New Mexico to this Saturday. He did talk about Emory Jones, obviously, and he talked about his ability, which he showed on the punt team, in being able to cover that punt in the open field and make a tackle the way he did yesterday or Saturday on an SEC special teams unit. That was just so impressive. He also talked about Emory Jones's ability to step into that atmosphere, that game in his first start and really handle it. You know, I mean, I believe Moscona was actually the one that asked him about Emory Jones and his output, and Kelly kind of fired right back at Matt and said, better than we anticipated. He played better than we expected. So, you know, I mean, that gives you the idea. LSU, their offensive line is, like right now, the present, it's so exciting to see these guys grow, but the feeling you get about the future is really, really like, man, 2-3 years, next year, 3 years from now. Think about it with like guys like Zalance Hurd, who's big boy down at St. Aug? Tyree Adams, who I saw play Friday night against Zachary. By the way, Zachary fell on Friday night. We didn't talk about that at all. 24-20, Zachary got beat by St. Aug. Kylan Jackson did not play on Friday night. It was a scratch before the game, a healthy scratch before the game. And St. Aug and Tyree Adams is – I had no idea how big he is. I mean, I saw him in video and I've seen him in pictures, but to see him, 10 yards away from you in full uniform, standing against Zachary's defensive line, which looks like, a D1 defensive line. I mean, I was thinking to myself, 2 years down the line when you've got Zalance Hurd and Tyree Adams both on the roster with guys like, Campbell Jones, Bo Bordelon, Fitzgerald West, who are in this class that'll be much more mature. LSU's offensive line feels like they'll be championship contending type unit, where you've just got all the experience. You've got, by that time, I'd imagine that Campbell and Jones will have the accolades, they'll have the awards of all SECs, possibly all Americans. Those two guys are just they're standout. So it was cool to hear what Kelly thought about Emery's first start, and as we said, we'll talk to Emery coming up here. I don't know if you can give a lower criticism to an assistant coach on your staff other than saying, I'm going to coach the unit like Brian Kelly did yesterday. I think that had to be a shot across the bow to Brian Polian, at least publicly. I think even in the room when he said it, kind of some people kind of looked around, kind of like, hey, man, that's an intentional statement. He didn't have to say that. Like Brian Kelly didn't have to come out and say that publicly. I'm sure that those are conversations that they've had behind closed doors on how things are going to be handled. But for your boss, that's ultimately your boss coming out in public and saying, I'm going to do his job. Right? I mean, like,
I'm going to take that off his plate.
How would that make you feel?
Take his whole job off his plate.
if your boss would come out and say, yeah, I'm going to take his meetings today. What would the message to you be thinking like, oh, shit, I must have screwed up. You know what I mean? Like,
how is this going to go?
If he's not letting me do my job.
Is there room in the booth?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Unplug his headset.
I mean, what, does
it's
he
like giving the
it?
controller to your, like when you play Xbox with your little brother. Just give him the controller. It's not plugged in.
Kind of, you go stand over there.
Yeah.
Like just make sure we've got 11 on every special teams unit.
But he brought him here. Is he going to replace him?
He didn't bring him here.
Yeah, I mean, you really kind of read between the lines here. I mean, there's only one assistant coach that came from Notre Dame. There's only one guy that has been, really consistent with him that has been in this role that, like we've said, I don't really know Brian Polian, right? Like I don't know Brian Polian at all other than the fact of I've heard him in interviews. He's been on this show one time, and I saw him in a press conference, before the season started where, the way that he kind of handled that room, the entire media when he walked out was kind of like, like where he was kind of like, oh, I heard y'all talking about how we weren't recruiting. What do y'all have to say now? Like,
I forgot about that.
It's nice to meet you, man. What was your name again? I didn't really catch what was this about?
What's your name?
Because at the beginning of the summer, they were struggling in recruiting, so we were going to talk. But once it got moving, everybody was applauding and talking about how complimentary or what was going on. So, if the rabbit ears are that tall, where you hear that type of stuff, like, hey, man, just get the special teams unit ready to play.
Well, that's
you know what I mean? Like, rather than coming out and, like, banging your hand on the desk like, hey, that recruiting's picked up, huh? Like, what was your name again? Like, nobody's here criticizing you, man. Everybody was just kind of wondering what the deal was in recruiting. And then, kind of getting up there and saying like, oh, I guess you guys didn't know what you had in special teams the last couple of years. Y'all have been spoiled. Like, no, we know what we've had in special teams the past couple of years. Everybody knows what they've been looking at, right? I mean, it's been, top 20 units the past 5 years under Greg McMahon. So, I mean, it's not as if people were wondering what good special teams play looks like. People know what that looks like, as they know when they see bad special teams play that they wonder, what the hell's going on?
But Polian was good at Notre Dame, right?
No.
He was not?
No. I mean, it wasn't as if they were they weren't a high-performing unit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do. But you can win games on special teams just as much as you can lose games. LSU lost the opening game of the season because of their special teams. Like, there's, you could go back and pinpoint and nitpick on certain things, but ultimately, if I said one thing that you could have back, if your special teams plays mediocre, below average against Florida State, you win the game. Or you got a chance to win the game. All you got to do is make a PAT to get into overtime and see what happens, right? And then 2 weeks later, they're still dealing with very elementary style issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, as Brian Kelly said yesterday with Gregory Clayton Jr., catching the ball on the 5-yard line, we have to coach that better. That's coach speak for saying, I'm talking to you, special teams coach.
Yeah.
Like, I'm speaking to you publicly. For as much as Brian Kelly speaks to his team publicly, Jeray Jenkins. Is Jeray Jenkins going to hear this? Yeah, I think he is going to hear this. Jeray, I need you to become more of a leader. Brian Thomas. Is Brian Thomas going to? Yeah, Brian Thomas is going to hear this. I got a message for you, Brian Thomas. So he's telling us 2 months ago that he speaks to his team through the media. Yesterday, his message was sent to his special teams coach.
Yeah.
He didn't have to get up there and say, I'm going to take more of a role in coaching special teams. Or we got to, how many times did he say we've got to coach it better within the special teams answer? I think I counted 3 real time, like just sitting in that room saying, we got to coach it better. We have to coach it better. We got to coach that part of the game better. It's like, whoa. I mean, like, if you're the special teams coach, you've got to be sitting there thinking like, man, this guy's sending a direct message into my office telling me I've got to improve. But from my perspective, I don't know how much better that section can get if that's the guy. Because this, to me, and this is just to me, this move on staff feels like Brian Kelly's Derek Panamsky. It feels like the guy that's kind of shoved into the room that just, it doesn't fit. Again, I don't know Polian. I don't know him, but I've gotten the feedback and we've covered him, and you look at his units. And if Brian Kelly is trying to build a championship contending program, which I believe he is, you wouldn't take this job at this point in your career with the experience that Kelly has, 35 years in the game, come down here for a 10-year contract, $100 million, the majority of it guaranteed. You're saying, I want to win and I want to win now. Moves like that in the SEC is the difference of SEC championship and SEC runner-up. It really is, in my opinion. That's how fine of a line the competitive balance in this league is. If you do one of your friends a favor and put him on staff at a key position, that could cost you on a Saturday. And if your goal is to get to the last Saturday of the playing season in the Southeastern Conference, the first Saturday in December in Atlanta, where you give your chance to go to the college football playoff, you give your program a chance to go to the college football playoff, odds are you're going to be playing Georgia, and I can guarantee one thing, Kirby Smart ain't doing anybody any favors on that staff. He's not hiring any of his friends. Well, he hired Scott Cochran from Alabama. Yeah, that made Alabama weaker when he did that. And when he brought Cochran over to Georgia and made him a special teams coach, as soon as Cochran started to go through some personal stuff, Kirby handled that internally to make sure that the program didn't suffer. He took care of Cochran and make sure that Cochran was personally okay. But he also made sure the priority was the football program and making sure that they were staying on pace. And again, I'm just saying that I believe that Brian Kelly is here to win. And I think Brian Kelly took this job to win. And I think moves like that are things that can keep you out of winner's circle in college football. I think that those deals are done all over college football, where you hire your buddy. You hire your friend. You've got so much budget. You've got so many positions. You've got all of this cash at your disposal. You can tuck somebody away and do somebody a favor. Odds are you not going to be a championship contending program. You know, like South Carolina, Arkansas, you know, Texas. You know, schools like that right now that are outside of the real national scope of the championship contending picture. I got to imagine there's probably 2 or 3, you know, people on staff that, you know, they're just kind of collecting a check. They're friends of the program. They're friends of the coach. You know, but when you really want to make it to the next level, you got to put the best person at every single spot in the organization. And when it's a coordinator, a special teams coordinator, and a recruiting coordinator at LSU, can't be your brother-in-law. It can't. Not if you want to be a championship contending program. You know how many people giggle and laugh that Frank Wilson is not the recruiting coordinator of LSU? I mean, like, you know how many high school coaches and high school recruits are like, wait, what?
Who am I talking to?
Who?
Guy?
Who's the recruiting coordinator?
Give me the duster.
Who? You know, I mean, it's, again, it's just, that's the facts. That's what people are saying within high school coaching offices. That's what people are saying within recruiting, visiting rooms and living rooms. And that's what a lot of people are saying around LSU. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to tell you my sources, but we speak to a lot of people at LSU. And there's a lot of people just kind of like scratching their head, wondering like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense on all of these people doing this role. And it's obvious that the plan is to win and go after championships. But this part of the organization that's very critical, recruiting and special teams, you're telling people publicly that you got to now oversee it. I guarantee you that wasn't his plan when he took the job in December, thinking that he was going to have to take over special teams 3 games into the season. And I'd imagine he's probably been doing it for longer than that. He probably took it over the Monday after Florida State. And to be a true championship contending program, you just can't do that. You can't have your brother-in-law, you can't have your buddy in a major role.
So does he fire him after this year?
I think it's a test.
I don't think he fires him. I think he probably moves him
he
along.
probably reassigns him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and look, I have no idea, but I'm just saying, I guess that would be the way to handle it. But I think that this is a true test of how serious are you of being a championship contender, because it's trending in the right direction. There's a lot of things that you look at LSU and you're like, wow, there's a lot of positive signs for the future. Recruiting's in order. You know what I mean? And look, Polian's done, I'm sure, probably done some good things in recruiting. He's the recruiting coordinator.
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of coaches in high school. I've talked to a lot of prospects in high school. I've talked to people around LSU. It doesn't just, the message doesn't hit.
Yeah.
What does he actually do around here?
Right? I mean, like, the message doesn't hit from one spot like it does from others.
Right. It didn't translate here.
Right.
Clearly.
And
that's too bad.
It is also concerning. I mean, like, you had Greg McMahon. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you had some scrub. You know what I mean? Like, you got a guy that was recruiting at a high level. He was developing at a high level. He was making sure that all the teams, all the special teams were set in order and were just put together. You didn't have to worry about that department. As a head coach, that's what you're trying to create.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring in talented people that I can trust to run the offense, defense, special teams, and I can oversee.
Right.
You know, and I can come in and say, hey, coach, have you thought about maybe doing this on this unit? Yeah? All right, let's look at it. Let's see if it works. If it don't work, no. But you don't want to go in there and say, coach, I gotta run the room. I gotta run the meeting.
But we're only in game 3. Maybe he just needs an adjustment period. I mean, there were other mistakes in that first game besides special teams. So, you know, maybe he's falling into
majority
place.
Special teams.
Right? I mean, we got to give him a little time to adjust. This is all a big adjustment.
How many
whole new staff?
How many field goals were blocked or
Just trying to be
muff
positive.
punts with Coach O? Not many. I can't remember many.
Coach, I was trying to remember special teams problems.
Yeah. Not
during Ogeron. I can't recall.
Stingley dropped one punt against Auburn.
Yeah, but that was just
That's
him.
it.
That was it.
I mean,
And then he picked the pass off right after
right
that. He
after
took it
that.
right
That's what I'm
back.
saying. Like, but that's like the only really one you could point to. Cade York, missed 2 extra points in his entire career. Yeah, as a freshman.
Right.
Like, I mean, the people like Jeff and Kenner, I see you in the chat like trying to argue about LSU special teams and Notre Dame being ranked in the top 30 in special teams.
Well, they were. That's what I was saying. I knew
sure,
they were good.
great. If you're gonna, LSU was trash last year. They didn't have enough players to be able to compete on special teams. Then you want to go back to 2019? LSU fair caught everything because their offense was so goddamn good.
I think in 2021 they were
Played.
ranked 16th in special
7:30.
teams.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, no, I think that they were a top 20 unit in special teams.
Wait, what year did you say?
2021.
Who? LSU or Notre Dame?
Yeah, no, LSU under McMahon.
think
You know,
somebody
like,
put
I
that
mean,
in
we
here.
talked about it yesterday. Brandon Hollingsworth, hashtag ask Jordy, why do we not have the best players on special teams? Talking about LSU. Put Kayshawn back there to receive punts like other great number sevens, Matthew Peterson, Chark, Stingley. Why does LSU have walk-ons back there? I asked that question yesterday. You know, I asked the question of personnel on, I mean, I love the highlight of Emory Jones tackling a skill player in the open field on a punt team. But do you really want your right tackle one-on-one with a punt returner in the SEC every Saturday? No, you don't. I mean, like, you don't. Because he's not going to make that tackle every time. The reason why he got up and he was celebrating and jumping up and down was because he knew that was a hell of a play.
Blew his own
You know what
mind.
I mean, like he was like, that ain't supposed to happen. So, you know, like, and look, man, I'm not trying to come in here and just bang on one person, but by the comments made by the head coach yesterday and by the feedback that, you know, people are talking about out there in the streets, whether it be recruits, high school coaches, etc. I mean, the return early on has been very questionable on that position, right? And it hasn't been on Brad Davis. It hasn't been on Jamar Cain. It hasn't been on Robert Steeples. It hasn't been on Frank Wilson. It hasn't been on Kerry Cooks. I mean, like, it's a great staff. It is a phenomenal staff. But you've got to you got to make sure and get if you want to get to the championship level of college football, you got to make sure the organization's got the right pieces at every spot, especially key spots like that. And as the head coach, you can't be taking over a team's. You can't take over your defense, your offense, or your special teams 3 games into the season and expect to win at a high level. You just, it can't happen. Maybe it gets fixed. Maybe
I think it will.
It gets
I
righted.
think they'll gel.
But it's an early issue.
Katie,
And
stop being so
it's
optimistic.
a first test for Kelly as far as how does he handle this. I think that people will watch and see if the special teams improves, then the storyline changes. But if the special teams continue to cost you and ultimately maybe cost you another game, then these are real questions that have to be asked. And it looks like these are discussions that are already happening behind closed doors. Not the future of what Polian does, but just somebody has said, maybe Coach Kelly should start handling more of the duties in special teams. Maybe it was Coach Kelly in the meeting that said, I'm going to handle more of the special teams. Either way, if I walked in here this morning as the owner of this company and I said, hey, Stewie, this morning, publicly, I said, Stewie, this morning Lloyd's he's going to produce the show.
Or you said, hey, I'm going to take over
Or
more
right,
of a production
or like,
role.
You know what, Stewie? I'm going to continue to host the show, but I'm going to take over the production of it. I mean, what would you think? Internally, you're thinking
We would all
like,
have a private meeting.
Oh my
and
God!
be like,
What's going on?
we're out.
Hey,
This
guys,
place is
I'm
on
cooked.
fire.
What's going on? You know, I mean, it just
See y'all next.
Burn it down.
it'll sting you.
Where my dogs at on Thursday?
We call roll up.
Right?
But I mean, that's what it is, right? Because I think that it's pretty evident what the weakest link on the LSU football team is, right? At this point, like, that's why fingers are being pointed, because you can look at things that have cost you one game, nearly cost you another. We talk about Emory Jones making a tackle. Your kicker make a tackle on kickoff, and your punter make a tackle on punt. Like, you have these things that are like constantly popping up whenever. Just give me whatever stats you want. I don't care about it. You've never had to see this at LSU. It was never a concern for the last 20 years. And so for it to become what it is when it's costing you field position, which ultimately can cost you a football game, and it feels like something that they just don't trust. And so if your head coach doesn't trust what special teams, like, hey, you got all day to practice special teams and run that unit. Like, if you really want to focus on that, everybody else is doing their job. You go over there and do your job. Go get special teams figured out, whatever it takes to do. You brought over your punter that you had at Notre Dame, and you brought over, like, I think, maybe he found the last seat on the plane, because if Pullian remains at Notre Dame, do you think he's retained by that staff?
No.
There's your answer.
No, I don't.
But you don't think they're trying to figure out special teams right now?
I just don't. I don't feel like it's the hardest job on the planet for what LSU is trying to do right now, and it seems to be the weakest link.
Daily, we're brought to you by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Remember, get in touch with Barker Brothers. You can find them easily online, or you cannot find them online. I'm sorry. There is no website, and there is no social media. There's only one way to get in touch with them. That's by calling them 225-776-2431, 776-2431. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show and save yourself 15% off. Remember, they are number one in a number two business over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Got a couple of trucks working East Baton Rouge Parish every single day. You can get in touch with them by calling 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. Will Marler inside of the chat, man, Jordy really doesn't like Brian Pullian. I don't know Brian Pullian. I'm just giving you an evaluation of his job, and I'm telling you what I heard, what his boss said about him yesterday, and what a lot of the media room was talking about after we left in the message that was sent to the special teams coach. I doubt a lot of media members will get up and tell you exactly what they're hearing from high school coaches, high school recruits, people at LSU, but it was a lot similar to what the head coach said yesterday at the podium, and to me, that's a big red flag. I don't know Brian Pullian. I don't know him. But if somebody was speaking about that or like that about somebody at their job, it's my responsibility to tell you, the fan, of, what the chatter is. And if you take what his boss said yesterday, there's obviously some sign of discourse happening behind the scenes where there's conversations having of Brian Kelly to Brian Pullian of, I'm going to have to do more of your job because your unit's not performing right now, and it's going to cost LSU another game if you don't get it right. I don't know him personally, but
I'm sure he's a lovely man.
That's the feedback on it.
Katie, all right?
Comes from a great family.
Yeah, I'm just being positive.
No,
I think
just
they'll get it
saying,
right.
I know you had a tough weekend. Things
Oh,
went south.
the sense of relief I have that's not looming in my future. I feel just so good about the rest of this football season.
That video was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's why I tried. It was me
It
who was
deserves
trying to
to
get
be.
Lloyd to
It
play.
deserves to be.
I'll
I didn't
honest.
see it. That was somewhere
Well, I
else.
just watched it
Whatever it
yesterday
came
morning
in.
for the
Yeah,
first
he was
time.
like, "What video are you talking about?" It's
I
like
had-
the video of Katie like crying on.
I wasn't crying.
Oh no!
I
It was she
totally
broke
fine.
up. She broke up with Mississippi State.
I was
She
fine.
got divorced.
Yeah.
I was just
Second
angry.
two-time divorce survivor. So they good for
Two-time survivor.
But it has to feel great. I mean,
Yeah.
welcome to the team.
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not
Oh
saying
no,
I've
you said
moved
it.
all the way over
You
to the
said.
side.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Well, your purple top and yellow Nikes to the press conference
I did
yesterday.
wear
I
purple
thought
and
tipped your
yellow
hand a little bit.
yesterday. I
You're an LSU
did.
fan, Katie.
You were
Just-
very.
Oh, your
you're-
fingernails are
bring it
still.
in.
They're still
very
maroon. I was
fanny.
trying to rip this off.
You
It's
can
gel.
sell that as purple though.
Nah, this
Yeah.
is maroon. Are you colorblind too?
No, but I could sell it as purple.
Two.
I was more interested in Brian Kelly's shoes yesterday at the press conference. They were very interesting.
What did he
They
wear?
were Ocean Pacific.
I don't know what that is.
I've never seen. Right? Wasn't that the brand?
Ocean
you said?
Pacific.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when he walked in, I am a shoe slut.
Same.
I am a shoe whore.
Oh.
So, I'm always looking at people's shoes, and I want to know,
These.
kind of what's
Oh,
going
no, I have
on
a photo. Those
with
are
their
on
shoes.
clouds.
And as soon as BK walked into the room, he had this logo on the side of his shoe that,
Here it is.
had me just mind screwed.
It looked like the Hunger Games
for a
logo.
couple of minutes, and I'm elbowing Katie. I'm like,
He's like, what shoes?
what shoes?
And I'm like, I'm already taking pictures and trying to
BK
figure it
have
Send
out.
it to me. I want to see him.
And Shay's wife, Emily Dixon, sitting right in front of us,
Looks
and
good.
I'm like, psst, psst. And she's typing into, she's doing her corporate job, and I'm like, psst, Emily. I'm kicking her chair, She's like, what?
Bad kid
And I'm
in
like,
class.
what kind of shoes does Kelly
Everybody's
have on?
studying for the test, and Jordy's looking at the teacher's shoes.
Yeah.
And she's like, even in the moment, she's like, we've all tried to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm like, holy shit. So like Bonnet sees me and Emily talking, so he kind of cuts us the principal eyes, kind of like, hey, don't you see the coaches talking? Shut up. So I like kind of like, give him the head nod back. I understand. But then I kind of give him the eyeballs toward Kelly's shoes, like, what are those? And Bonnet's like, I don't know either.
This is what your word is.
Yeah, shut up. And at this point, like he's talking about Emory Jones, about his first start, like, I'm like, and Bonnet's like, I'll talk to you after. All right, cool. So I'm like, so as soon as we get up, Bonnet like looks right at me. He's like, what, dude? What were you saying down the press? I'm like, what kind of shoes does Kelly have on?
One question in the back.
Yeah.
Coach,
He's
where
like-
you get your shoes from?
And I hit him with, are those Ocean Pacifics? And he said, they're Ocean Pacifics. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, bro. There's some type of like green shoe.
He said they give back to the environment.
Oh, it's like Tom's.
Kinda like Tom's.
Similar to that, yeah.
Where'd
Kinda
he
like
go?
Tom's.
Or Crocs.
But we walked out of there like,
That was the big
So?
takeaway from
Like,
the
Yeah.
press conference.
Nike.
There you go.
My biggest takeaway
From the
is
Culotta
that Brian
show.
Kelly is now the special teams coach and he wears Ocean
Ocean
Pacifics. I mean, I also would think if I'm Nike, like,
I'm wearing Nike shoes.
coach.
That's
I'd
what we
be-
were
I
talking
mean,
about.
yesterday morning on the SEC network, he's rocking Southern Marsh.
The
Yesterday at the press conference, he's got Ocean Pacific shoes on.
OPs.
Scott Woodward effect.
Yeah.
Woodward walked in here a couple of months ago. He
With
had
on
on
clouds.
clouds on and a Peter Millar
We were like,
LSU
what's
shirt
happening?
I don't know. Maybe
Where's
they just
the
don't like
Nike
the
love?
Nike dude.
on. I mean,
How
I
can
know
you not?
Nike pays him a lot of money. Bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
I mean, like,
Look, I'm taking
a lot of cash.
I've seen
Just-
Kirby Smart's contract at Georgia. It's a lot of
I
Nike
mean,
stuff.
like,
Oh.
look at Brian Kelly's contract at LSU.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
they
the
made him
thing.
throw that visor on real quick after game one. They're
I
like,
mean-
"Hey, BK, we got to,
Yeah,
we
right.
need
We're
something."
paying you a lot of money,
yeah,
bro.
put the thing on.
Hey,
Hey, 2-0 in the visor.
breaking news.
That was
Ocean
my
Pacific.
takeaway
Ocean
from the press
Pacifics.
conference. Ocean
I mean, it's
Pacific is still a
very.
brand.
This is just as a man who's grown up around it. That is very white golf.
Ocean
Like
Pacific?
their whole feel is very
Oh.
country club.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of Southern Marshes, Peter Millar.
You ain't supposed to be here.
Yeah. Hey, who do you know here? But it's a little bit the step above. It's the older white gentleman that like feels like, oh, this is $160 shirt as opposed to the $80 Nike shirt.
I
It's
mean,
like,
they're cute. He looks cute.
Yeah, nobody looks
He
good.
looks really cute. I just didn't know what they were.
Never seen him before.
Yeah.
And just to put a bow on the special teams unit for everybody that wants to look at stats, LSU is ranked 125th in the country. There's 131 teams ranked. So that's,
I mean,
I might be able to do that.
Yeah.
that's
You
that's
play special teams
that's
now?
inexcusable. And really, what we're talking about is building a championship program, and that's not the way to get there. That's all I'm saying. It is 3 games in. You got to have, if you're taking over a team's as a head coach, you know that there's going to be major discussion about what's going to happen there in the future. I would think.
Yeah.
Make sure to hit the like button, share button, comment button. Some other things that Coach Kelly was talking about yesterday he was also talking about the team's conditioning, which I know we mentioned a little bit yesterday, but this is something that is obviously starting to really stand out here for LSU. I think people are really starting to take notice of how much early on they are a second half team, and I don't think that is that goes along with the correlation of just how good a shape that they're in, right? I think that when you watch LSU play for 3 straight weeks, really 2 out of the first 3 weeks, Florida State and Mississippi State most notably, I mean, they won they won the game Saturday night in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter. And, they had Florida State, sweating and anxious in the fourth quarter, holding on for dear life, where their special teams unit cost them. So, Kelly was saying, in fact, his exact quote on the team's conditioning, he said, I think it's how you practice. We don't condition during practice or after practice, so it's a matter of managing the practice structure itself, that you are getting your team to a workload that the games can become easier. And then you start to see that in the third and fourth quarter where you can wear down your opponents. We're weight training during the season. It's not a maintenance program. It's a program that we're not putting our guys in a compromising position where they have got too much weight on the bar, but we're being powerful with our weight training and really intentional about trying to get our guys stronger during the season. So we want to continue to add strength. We want to continue to condition our players, but also with an eye towards making sure that their workload is such that they can be their best on Saturdays. They have mastered that.
Why did he say it like that? They're like, we're weight training during the season. Do most teams not weight train during the season?
No, I think everybody does. In fact, like
Is
we're
way?
doing the Dawn of a Legacy documentary on Woodlawn and Zachary, and it was cool to see Zachary's Saturday morning kind of protocol, kind of their regimen Saturday morning is that if you played on Friday night, if you logged a rep, if you played a down, doesn't matter if you're a starter, doesn't matter if you're a guy that comes off the bench or they blew somebody out and the third and fourth string guys got in there, the JV guys got in there. If you played a down on Friday night, you're in the weight room on Saturday morning doing what they call stretch and stride.
Oh.
But it's not.
I know, but we got to get to the LSU game.
Oh, coach, you couldn't play at Zachary.
No,
if you're worried about partying, you
Trying
can't
to
worry.
get to
You
the
can't play at
tailgate,
Zachary.
dude.
I mean,
Hey, I can stretch and stride on Sunday.
Zachary is a D1 football pro. The most impressive thing that I have seen in shooting this documentary with Woodlawn and Zachary is the program that Zachary has. I mean, the program that Zachary runs has to be. I didn't have a front row seat to West Monroe in the 90s. I saw West Monroe a couple of years ago. Will Blackwell's grandfather, Jerry Arledge, is the coach there. So on a trip that T-Bob and I made to West Monroe, Coach O was doing a speaking thing, and we went up there with him. Jerry Arledge showed us around West Monroe, and it was the most impressive high school facility I had ever seen. They have like an equipment room. They've got, you know what I mean? Like you can go get a new pair of socks if you want. If you run out of socks, you can go up there and get a new pair. It was very college. It was very like G-string. And, it was like going over there and hanging out at LSU where you can just walk up and get an undershirt, get a new pair of cleats, get a new pair of shoes, whatever you want. Zachary it's better than West Monroe. It's better than what I saw of West Monroe 5 years ago. I mean,
It's college.
Their facilities, their coaching staff, their attention to detail, it's as thorough and as much of a college regimented program that I have ever seen. I've not dove into all of the programs in Louisiana. I'm sure that there are some out there that exist like Zachary. The one that I know of that I have seen firsthand is so impressive. And I know that they fell on Friday night to St. Aug, and that was a hell of a win for St. Aug. But Zachary has now built up this, stigma where it feels like you win a title when you beat them. You could even see St. Aug's celebration. You know what I mean? You can see the way that they felt. And St. Aug is as proud of a high school program that our state can offer.
Right.
And you can still see how much of a big deal it is to go into that place and beat a team in a program like Zachary right now, just because they've got this cachet with them of, they're the big dogs. And the way they run it is, it's so it's a business. You know what I mean? Like
it's a factory.
It's a company. It's an absolute entity. And the way that it is run is like that. I guarantee you that, and again, I'm not taking shots, but this is just to show you the level of the program. David Brewerton, the head coach of that program, is not doing anybody any favor. He's not hiring anybody to do him a favor. He's bringing people in to win. And that's it. And you can sense that when you get there. Jay, will you go get Emory Jones is here?
The reason I asked that is because the way he said that quote when he was asked the question about conditioning, he said we weight train during the season. So I'm asking, why is that different?
You weight train.
I didn't play the
season,
game of football or
season.
train in a weight room like all of you did. So the questions might sound stupid, but they're
It's
legit.
not a stupid question, but
They're
usually
legitimate.
you train before the season, after the season, during the season.
Do you lift lighter during the season?
Yeah, you don't go
Yeah.
as ham. You just maintain. And we can ask big man.
There he is, bro. The best special teams player in the SEC. No, I'm kidding. That is the starting
Special
right
teams
tackle
player of the week.
as the true freshman. My guy on Saturday, you could see him and Will Campbell celebrating the touchdown as they were dancing in the end zone. This is what they talked about. This is what they were envisioning a couple of years back when they were at Neville and Catholic High School, respectively, and every college in the country was knocking on their door asking them to play D1 football and saying, hey, if you come here, you can start as a freshman. A lot of people eye roll at that. A lot of moms, dads, high school coaches, 7-on-7 coaches, they hear that pitch, right? They hear Brian Kelly. They hear Nick Saban. They hear Jimbo Fisher. They hear Sam Pittman, who I'm sure was pushing Emory Jones very hard to get up to Arkansas in his recruitment, and telling him, you'll play as a true freshman. And a lot of that times, that stuff doesn't come to fruition. LSU's got 2 tackles on their offensive line right now that are both true freshmen. And after Saturday, when you watch the film, they look like the 2 best on the line of scrimmage. The future is very bright. It's happening right now. We'll talk to Emory Jones next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Compliments of our friends over at the G Squad. Gordon McKernan and crew. Remember the G Squad doing great work, obviously, in the NIL space, but you can learn all about them. You'll learn about them as we take this break. You'll see some of their commercials before we get back here with Emory Jones, who was the 5-star tackle out of Catholic High School, the proud former alum of a South Baton Rouge Ram championship that he won back in the day before he got to Catholic High, and now the starting right tackle for the LSU Tigers. That sounds good. We'll talk to Emory Jones next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Compliments of the G Squad. What up, big fella? Donaldsonville Glass and Body, trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here we go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team. along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
All right, welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live on this Tuesday. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button. Couple of Tigers honored for their performance on Saturday night, including Jay Ward and B.J. Ojulari, who took home co-SEC Defensive Players of the Week. Jay Ward had 15 tackles on Saturday. What a move by Matt House, moving him to the nickel safety spot and sliding Greg Brooks back to the free spot. B.J. Ojulari looking like he is having just a phenomenal year. He looks like he's going to be a top 5 pick. And another move that was made on Saturday was a big move on the offensive side, and that was sliding in 5-star tackle out of Baton Rouge, Emory Jones, into the starting lineup. We said the middle of the summer we expected Jones to be starting by Mississippi State. I wish we would have played that at the window because we would have been collecting on Saturday night, as the big fella was the starting right tackle for the LSU Tigers in his true freshman season, and he's here with us on this Tuesday morning to talk all about it. Compliments of Gordon McKernan and the G Squad. Big fella, good morning, bro. Congratulations. How are you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, dude. When did you get the word that you were starting?
Got the word Thursday, going into meetings, and I don't know, just took the opportunity and ran with it.
It felt like your mindset was trending towards a starter. I think we watched the highlight of you versus Southern driving what looked like me into the parking lot.
Blindside
for God's sakes, Emery, let him go, man. You're gonna kill this kid.
I didn't hear the whistle.
And I mean, everybody was saying like, Jesus, man, this kid's got to play. He's got to play now. It looked like you were trending towards getting into the starting lineup. Could you feel that through the first couple of weeks of your college life?
Honestly, I was more worried about like kind of getting noticed, like by the coaching staff, and, just trying to get them to kind of put a little bit of trust in me. So
put somebody on the tape.
Spot. So I was thinking just go in and be nasty, and I get that chance to finally get in the game, just show them what I got. So I got in, and I knew when I got in, I was like, I'm gonna kill somebody.
We get my hands on you.
Yeah.
Tell me about going up against an SEC opponent for the first time in your life.
It was fun. Had a whole bunch of adrenaline. Playing in front of Tiger Stadium, playing in Death Valley, it was something special. But going against them, he was definitely good. They can definitely got more stuff, more tools in their bag. It was fun to go against those guys and battle with them, for sure.
Brian Kelly was asked specifically yesterday at his press conference, Coach, what did you think about Emory Jones' first start? And he fired right back at the reporter, saying better than we anticipated. What was your thought of your performance on Saturday night?
I expected greatness. Me and Will, we stayed in the hotel room together, and we were just talking about it all night. And I told him, bro, I promise you we're going to have a good game tomorrow. Like, we expected to have a great game. So, that's what we went and did.
Can you take me to some of the conversations that you and Will Campbell have shared over the last couple of years, talking about, I guess, what ultimately was Saturday night, right? Mm-hmm. How many times have you guys talked about that?
We've been talking about that since I came here last time. I've been telling you how me and Will, set our goal to be freshman All-American. So finally given that opportunity, now we got to just go and get it. But I know something we talked about before the game. The night before the game, we were talking about just like the speed of the game. He was telling me how it is, how it was against Florida State for him, and just telling me stuff to like be aware of and just be ready for. So just things like, when they pass rush, they're going to give you a second and third move. So just be ready for it. And him just giving me pointers and stuff like that to be ready for.
How different was Saturday night? How much of that were you surprised by?
It was definitely different in a sense that you just going to you got to trust your technique a little more. Mm-hmm. You got to, when you get tired, you got to go back to your level of training. And Coach Davis already told us that throughout the week. He was saying, when things get bad, you got to sink to your level of training. And that's going to really show who been putting in the work. So that was the big thing, just sinking to my level of training.
Had over 100 yards with running backs on the ground. Your quarterback ran for 93 yards on Saturday night, a really really good performance by the O-line as a whole on Saturday, but maybe the play of the night was you in the open field on special teams. And I know that we made a little bit of a joke before you came on, but that was so impressive to see somebody of your size. What are you wearing that now, 335?
No, 323.
So 320 pounds in the open field going up against a skill player in the SEC. What was that like? I mean, I saw the way you celebrated after you made the tackle. So what was that sequence like for you?
It was definitely energizing. At that point in the game, the offense, we weren't moving the ball how we wanted to. We weren't executing our plays right. So I was just trying to find a way to be a spark for the team. And I got the opportunity on punt, just to let it happen on the sideline. And
you got to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, I had to let the energy out. So, my coach, we was in a meeting yesterday watching the film, and he was like, we going to get on the team to be better because everybody should have been celebrating with you. So, I was just thinking be that spark, for the team, get recognized for being that spark and playing with energy and playing hard. So, that's what I was trying to do.
Absolutely. What is it like for you preparing at this level compared to where you played last year? Gabe Fertitta, your high school coach, the majority of the time that you were there. I know David Semino coached you your senior year on a state championship run. But Fertitta told me that the difference between you and everybody else is not just your size and athleticism. It's the way that you prepare. And you were doing this at Catholic High. Yeah. What's it like preparing now here?
Honestly, I've been looking at it like, preparing the same way. At Catholic, we watched a whole bunch of film, went over plays, went over schemes, went over what happens if this happens. So it's pretty much the same thing. I've just been watching film, watching my opponents, watching everybody who I could potentially block, and just, seeing, like Will said, their second and third move, like kind of their tendencies, like if they going inside, how their foot looking. Mm-hmm. Like how is if he's on the right side, how is his left foot planted in the ground pre-snap. So just stuff like that, stuff that Coach Fertitta taught me, Coach Sheldon, and then Coach Davis, just kind of following, the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Mount Shelton, offensive line coach at Catholic High, one of the great ones out there doing it in high school football. From the standpoint of this week, New Mexico, how do you look at this opponent? I know this is somebody that Coach Kelly said you guys got to take serious. It's not an SEC opponent, but it's somebody that you got to get prepared for. Right. What do you see on Saturday?
We've seen that they got a really good defense, and they move and blitz a whole bunch like Mississippi State. So it's definitely going to be another week that we got to lock in and focus. We've been looking at their stats, and their defense is ranked like top 5 in a whole bunch of defensive categories. So it's definitely not an easy game and not just a game we can't focus on. So we definitely got to take this game serious.
You're here this morning representing Gordon McKernan and the G Squad.
Yes,
I know that you signed an NIL deal with them going into the season. It's got to be cool to be a part of that team. Yeah. I know, but with a lot of the dudes in the locker room.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun. It definitely brought a whole bunch of us together. It's a whole bunch of guys: Mason Smith, Kayshawn Booty, just a whole bunch of people who you probably wouldn't get close to, without this opportunity. So. Just, it's been fun. It's been a blessing to be a part of the G team.
So bummed out for Mason, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, I was bummed out for Mason. I know that inside the locker room, he means a lot to you guys. Yeah. How, as one of his partners, how's he making it through this time?
He's been keeping high hopes. Everybody's been praying for him, but he's been a whole bunch of fuel to our fire. One big thing that Major Burns says, and he's like, we're doing this for O. Mm-hmm. And, everybody just been kind of buying into that. Before the game, everybody go dap him up, and he's just been a whole bunch of fuel for our fire, and you can tell that he's not happy to be out, but he's trying to make the best of it. So he's just been being a big brother to everybody, telling everybody what we need to do, hyping everybody up for the game, just being himself and helping the team.
Yeah. Brad Davis recruited you relentlessly at Arkansas. In fact, the day that he took the job at LSU, I believe you were on an official visit in Fayetteville. And Brad Davis, I remember telling the story how he urged you to take that trip. Still take that trip, but now he's overseeing you here at LSU. How is that relationship built now that you are inside of his room, and how is he helping you as a player develop?
He's been helping me, relentlessly. Just telling me everything I can do to get better. Never getting comfortable. That was the big thing he told me this week. He was like, you had a good game last week, but I'm not gonna lighten up on you. You still got to get better. Everybody in the room got to get better. We got to be looking at, who the best person you go against and, how you going to play against him. So, the little things like, getting shoulders back or stuff like that in my technique, he trying to fix. And he just been working at it. We're going to keep working at it and getting better at it every day. So.
it's freaky for offensive linemen to come in and play at the level that you and Will have played at this early. This entire rookie class of offensive linemen has had really good return talking to people around the program, whether it's Fitz and what he's doing at the center position, or if it's even Bo Bordelon in the way that he's kind of changed his body over the last couple of months and kind of gotten him ready to play into the future. What's the pride of that class of offensive line? I know not everybody's Will Campbell and Emory Jones that can step in and play as true freshmen, but it seems like this is a class that's really going to be the stable of the future.
Right. I feel like everybody understands that it's a process, and no matter where you at in the process, I think we all got the same end goal, and that's to come and win a championship for LSU and win for the state. So, you know, Bo, you got a guy who will die for this. Like, he is a diehard LSU fan, and that's in his heart. You got Fitz, who, you know, he knows that he got a point to come prove. So I feel like them boys both getting ready to play, and maybe it's not their time right now, but they understand that it's coming. And, you know, when it comes, they're going to be ready to play. So,
and they only signed 15 of you cats out of high school, but it seemed like they hit on just about every one of them. I mean, you and Will are the headliners, but then 40 on defense looks like he's got that juice too. How good is Perkins?
Harold Perkins is fast. He's quick. Going against Perkins, you know, he's starting to learn some defensive moves, and, you know, it's really exciting, you know, having him come off the edge and seeing him play and get sacks this early is fun to watch. You know, we hyping each other up after the game, you know, just talking, and we both really excited how we playing and how we performing. So, yeah, Perkins.
Yeah, Mason Taylor. I mean, y'all got them, bro. Y'all got them dudes in that class. Y'all got to have a lot of pride here on the class of 21, huh?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Are you able to watch other football right now? Do you watch other teams at all?
Honestly, no.
No?
No, I'm not. I mean, I watched like when Bama played Texas. I watched that game. But I haven't been watching a whole bunch of football other than us, you know, focusing on us trying to win the championship this year. So, yeah, really haven't been.
How different is the college game?
I think it's exciting. I think it's a whole bunch of good football playing, and I feel like it's a whole bunch of teams that can compete, and it's not like going to be blowout games. Like, I feel like it's going to be a whole bunch of good games this year. So, I'm excited to play.
What was the dance, bro? You and Will celebrating in front of the student
practice
section.
in the hotel room.
we actually got in trouble for it, but it was more on the fly. Will was like, we were going on the field. He was like, next time we score, we're going to dance in the end zone. I was like, well, all right, then, let's go. You know, so it was a more on the fly thing, and, you know, it just kind of happened.
Yeah, well, bro, really and truly, y'all kind of
killed
caught
it.
one because the referee's standing right behind y'all,
Yeah,
and he
I
don't
know.
say anything to y'all. I thought for sure he was either going to say, get back to the sideline, or, you know, worst case scenario, throw a flag.
Yeah, I was hoping he wouldn't, because I kind of saw him when I turned around. Like,
The ops are here.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, but we had fun. You know, it was real energizing. We were feeding off each other energy all night, and it was something nasty.
I sat by your family in the state championship game last year at Tulane Stadium versus Jesuit, and man, as soon as that gun went final, as soon as the game went final, your mom she had tears coming down her eyes because it was over, right? I mean, your high school experience was over, but you could see how excited she was about what was going to be next for you. I saw your social media after the game. That wasn't just a big night for you. That was a big night for a lot of people. Talk about your family and celebrating what went down.
So my dad, my uncle actually comes to every game, and he was real close to my dad. And one of their big things between him and my dad was that my dad was going to sit on the 50 and watch me play at a higher level. He told him that as a kid, so it's really emotional for my mom, my uncle, just because, you know, they watching me, and the parent section is actually like right on the 45-50.
Yeah.
So they're really emotional every game, and you know, when I made my punt, when I made the tackle on punt, it was on the 50.
Oh,
so
wow.
after the game, my mom kind of was tearing up.
Wow.
She was like, I'm so
Bro,
proud
I got
of you.
goosebumps right
yeah,
now.
It was crazy.
That's
like
crazy,
after the
Emery.
game, I just try not to focus on it because I don't like getting emotional with it. But yeah, it was special.
That's a great story, bro.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. The leaders on this team, you can see them kind of popping up, and it feels like it doesn't matter the classification. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. They got leaders in every group. What's the leadership like on this team right now?
You know, you got Charles Turner, which is the center. He's been nothing but a leader. He's a great communicator, and I feel like without him, we wouldn't be, you know, as good as we are executing wise. And you got guys like B.J. Ojolari, who just you seeing him on the field, and you know it shows that's why he's your leader. Like it makes you want to play for something better and deeper than yourself. We got Ali Gay, who's just a guy who's always trying to help everybody, and Same with 6. I can't think of his name right.
6.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. But yeah, you got him at the linebacker core who's just kind of holding the defense down. And, it's just special. Like we got a great group of guys, a great group of leaders who's gonna lead this team to, I think, something special. So.
Yeah, it feels like a really good locker room.
Mm-hmm. We do.
How's school?
It's going good. It's getting busy now. In the summer I had 2 classes. Now I got 5. So just getting a little more busy, a little more work. But it's nothing too bad. Nothing I can't handle.
Professors, did you see the game on Saturday night?
Hey,
let's not overload our guy, right?
Exactly. You got room to drop one.
The man's going to be a multi-millionaire in 2 years.
Just keep it to 12 hours.
Congratulations on everything, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey,
shout out to the G Squad too.
Absolutely. How was it coming through that tunnel Saturday night?
It was crazy. It was definitely a dream come true. Just seeing all the kids. You know, I remember being one of those kids who were looking at them running through the field goal. So, kind of just understanding like kind of where they are and kind of where you are, but you still got to have your feet on the ground and be focused for the game. But it just kind of you got to take it in sometimes.
Absolutely.
Something Coach Davis told us, he was like, just take like 3-4 seconds, just kind of look around.
Soak it in.
Kind of feel the atmosphere, yeah. So I felt that. I definitely was looking around a little bit, and it just felt amazing.
Loud, huh?
Yeah.
It was loud.
It was loud. It hyped you up for sure.
I bet, bro. Go get him, dog.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you stopping by this morning,
yes, sir.
man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Congratulations on everything. Best of luck on what's coming up.
Yes, sir.
Emory Jones representing the G Squad in here this morning with us. We'll be right back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach, lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think, getting through spring, I mean, most of it was obviously just installing the offense. And I think all 4 guys really made some strides in terms of that and showed a lot of positives. Obviously, which, you guys get to talk about all the time. So you guys,
Sure.
But all 4 have done a great job. They did. I think they really did a really nice job in spring of taking strides forward individually, and everybody's different in terms of what they need to get better at and what they need to show. And then move it into summer. And I love the way they're working right now in the weight room for Coach Flint. But like I said, I think spring a lot was everything was new for everybody. So especially at the beginning, there wasn't as much evaluation, say, the first few days, get into the flow. And then I think we got some good opportunities for some guys to get some reps. And I think everybody showed some positives.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southernyecenters.com. That is southernyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southernyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Who'd have thunk it? Katie's stable's full of a bunch of...
Somebody looking like David.
A bunch of prototypes.
Katie has a type.
Send me Kevin O'Connell.
Similar looking too. I know,
He looks just like David.
Yeah, it does. You couldn't live in Minnesota, though.
No way.
I mean,
no way.
For that,
maybe if you're the
Kevin
coach's,
O'Connell.
maybe if you're
He's
the
not
coach's
gonna stay
wife.
there.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're
if I'm
the
a
coach's
coach's
wife.
wife, I'll live anywhere.
I don't know if you would not have
spend all his money.
You would not have handled last night well.
What? They were in Philly.
I know.
At the house to herself. Who knows what Miss
Well,
O'Connell was doing last night?
I was just saying, if she was in the suite, so if she can't handle
you probably got
Mississippi
home.
State
Go
alone.
in?
Yeah.
I got Sean McVay back here.
Yeah. He worked on his staff. So did you.
That's right. You did.
Special assistant to
Okay,
the head coach.
That was good.
Maybe if you'll win, I'll be on time. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here on this Tuesday. Good stuff from Emory Jones. That dude's a freshman.
That's crazy.
Like, you're going to look back on Will Campbell and Emory Jones in 2 years when you see them at SEC Media Days, and you're going to see these pictures of them freshmen and be like, damn, they look like babies. That guy looks like a baby. He'll look like a baby
Soft
at some
face.
point.
Yeah.
You're like, Will Campbell, they still probably card Will Campbell.
Absolutely, they do.
Well, they have to. He's not even 20. Barely 18.
But I'm saying, like 6'7", 300 walks in, you're thinking like, yeah, we got room for you in the back. But I mean, then he turns around and you're like, you look 12, kid.
He doesn't even have facial hair. Like,
No.
Like,
Looks like a baby's butt. His cheeks.
like bald.
Yeah. His
Like
dancing.
Kevin
His dancing
Unbelievable.
was unreal.
I love it.
How they did not get flagged.
It's awesome.
Is the best part of it. Because the officials, like, look, like he's got like the ball like behind him. He's like, look at these two kids.
That's the
Yeah,
O-line.
he's like, I mean, he doesn't even like tell him to stop.
Let him have a
like
moment.
they used to like run at Jefferson and Chase and try to tackle him, to tell him to stop. Gritty and like, get out of here!
Yeah, that
Get to the sideline!
that had some undertones to it when that official at Ole Miss in 2019 was like, "You got an agenda. I don't know what happened to you."
Seriously,
You ain't supposed to be in this end zone.
Yeah, right.
Y'all stopped it. What's that calling down to Gritty? I don't like it.
Them boys dancing down there. I'm about to put a stop to this.
Hey, John Rice Plummer, you go get them.
But it is, like it's crazy to think about like what Emory Jones is going to look like.
It is.
In like 3 years. Like, I mean, think
He'll
about
change
like
a
what he's
lot.
going to look like when he's 21 years old, 22 years old. I mean, he's going to look like a Greek god.
We do need to talk to the teacher. 15 hours is too many.
I agree.
Let's get him down to 12. That's all you got to take. You're not. You only go be here
on a simple sports management load, though. I'm thinking that we're probably working him into a couple of bowling classes, a couple of stretch and strides,
little golf.
You don't need
golf.
You don't have to take the activity courses if you lettered in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I haven't taken an activity course yet.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, I took golf during the
Coach,
summer
even
for
though
fun.
Summer bowling was pretty fun.
Oh, I know the class.
I mean, like, I took a couple of summers of bowling where you end up at the rec center and you're just like, what are we doing after? Who's got a pool? Like, let's get the hell out of here.
Y'all trying to smoke?
Yeah, right. I got a pocket full of bud. Who's got the pool? Where are we headed?
Wait, did y'all know I was on the Bulldog bowling team for a minute?
What?
The Bulldog
Did I
bowling
never tell y'all
team.
this?
What's your form like? Give me your form.
Okay,
right
wait. It's awful. And
Are
the
you
reason
good?
I did
Oh wait,
it,
I've heard this
here. Oh, you
story.
were cleat chasing.
No. I used to be like a pretty decent bowler, and I went on
What's
a
decent?
group date with like a crush, and I got my hand stuck in the ball, and I threw myself down the lane.
Get the.
I'm not even
Get
kidding.
the.
Wait.
I swear I'm
Hold
not
up.
This
kidding.
sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
I
how
swear
does,
I'm
how
not
does that
kidding.
happen?
How old were you?
A senior in high school, and I did that.
Were you wearing a skirt?
I don't think so. No, not
Oh,
bowling.
you would have remembered.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
He
It
would've-
was
I mean,
super
yeah.
embarrassing.
Right.
It was super,
Great
it was
form.
Really, like one of the worst moments ever. I mean, everybody like laughed like it was funny, but it was pretty bad for me.
So
then I couldn't bowl after that. Like I had a mental block on bowling. Like every bowl would go into the gutter, and so I forced myself. I was like, I'm joining a bowling. Like I'm gonna get this back. And they kicked me.
Are you kidding?
They kicked me off. I was so terrible.
Oh,
God.
no.
So you have
You got cut.
You have the shanks. You have the
Yeah,
bowling like
I
scaries.
I never bowl. Like when people want to go bowling, I'm like, yeah, I'll go sit there and drink and
Play
watch.
laser
but,
tag.
Like, I'm done.
So you got cut from a bowling
From a
team.
rec
Did.
team.
I mean, it wasn't like a
That's-
big deal
that's-
kind of
that's
team,
pretty-
but they were like, I think
pretty
we're
bad.
good. Like I think
We're
we
going to go in a
probably
different
don't
direction.
need it. Yeah.
The class is full.
Yeah.
We'd love to keep
And
you.
they knew I mean, I told them.
I'm gonna start taking more.
I mean, we were talking as a staff. We were trying to make another spot, but I mean, there's only so many balls to go around.
I hate this day, man.
And
I'm
your
just saying-
scouting report says that you like to hold on to them, so we're
Yeah.
gonna keep our balls and keep our team like it is.
I think I'm gonna start taking more of the bowling responsibilities.
Have you ever gotten your finger stuck in a ball hole, in a bowling ball?
No.
Finger hole?
Well, how did you? You don't even. You
Yeah,
don't have
your
fat
fingers
fingers.
I
are
think
like
I was
that.
using like a kid ball.
Oh,
one of the lighter
probably.
ones. Yeah, I was super nervous.
Small balls.
I was super nervous. I was probably gripping it, you know,
Yeah.
like
A
tight.
little held on a little too
and
tight.
just threw myself on. I mean,
That's
yeah,
a
it was
movie.
rough.
So you like fell and just
Yes.
with the ball.
Yes.
So like you face skid down.
Yes.
How far did you make it?
Not that far. Not like half.
Even on
far.
a slippery dance floor. I mean,
it's
that's a pretty
slippery,
slippery
you know?
floor.
It's
Yeah.
How many
slippery.
people were there?
A
Like
lot.
a group date?
Yes,
It
it
was
was
a
a huge
bowling
group.
alley.
What was Monday like?
Bunch of kids
Huge
over there.
group. No, I mean, I was super embarrassed. Everybody kind of like laughed it off and thought it was funny or whatever. But like, I held on to that for a
See,
little bit.
yeah, that doesn't happen to somebody like you though. Like
do you mean?
there's like ditzy people, and like you were probably cool in high school, so it was like, oh shit, I look good. Like what happened, or whatever your last name was.
Is that Katie face
Yeah.
planting down the lane?
You're so dude. If they'd have had Facebook, it would have been a time and a half
God,
for you.
if we
Yeah,
had social media, yeah, it would've been
TikTok.
bad.
Oh,
It would have been bad. It
you
was
should
pretty
try. You
embarrassing.
should try bowling with your your opposite hand.
You know, I never thought about that.
There you go.
I should
There was
do
probably
that.
one of your friends that was there. Look at Katie showing off again,
Uh-huh.
bitch.
Right, trying to bowl. That
Trying to
bitch.
get all the attention.
Yeah.
Look
such
at
a
her.
good
Fuck
bowler.
her.
That's our passing notes in class.
Right.
I wanted to date Brian.
I hooked
Look,
up
she's
with
wearing
guy
a
later in
skirt.
college,
Yeah.
What a
so, I mean, it all
slut.
worked.
High socks.
Yeah, right.
Probably doesn't wear the bowling shoes. Like, oh, those don't go with my outfit.
I hate bowling shoes.
I
Actually.
see.
I mean, like
Yep.
that's just because there's someone else's shoes. That's the last thing I want to put on my feet.
That
I mean,
is
you
true.
have socks on.
What do you
Doesn't
use?
matter.
Do you bring your own fork to a restaurant?
No.
All right,
Somebody
then.
else's
Someone
fork.
else's feet and shoes is different.
They got
though.
they got
All
the
they're
spray.
doing is spraying it. Ugh.
So you'd rather eat off of
Gross.
someone else's utensils than
That were
wear someone
washed in
else's
scalding hot
shoes?
water in
You
a
don't know if
dishwasher?
that's the case.
Absolutely.
I bring my own fork every restaurant I go to.
You do not.
No, eat it with my hands.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to pack the vacuum to everywhere we went. We get to the
did
beach,
not.
and the first thing she would do would plug the vacuum in.
No. That's amazing.
I've never heard of that.
I mean,
That's
I probably
actually
could do
like
that
crazy.
too.
First thing she would do.
Dude, I bet you could hear it right
Watch
now.
your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, God damn, we just sat down.
We don't even live
Yeah,
here.
right. Like,
Oh, but
they
so-
haven't even unpacked yet.
So much sand.
The fucking bag's still in the car.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to
like-
duck out.
couldn't get my bag under the vacuum.
Don't vacuum that. Hold on. That's not sand.
Keep that away. Keep that away.
Yeah.
Keep that away.
Keep that on the
Jesus.
table.
Good Lord.
Gosh, this lady's crazy.
Fucking vacation.
No wonder
over
you're
here,
vacuuming
man.
so much.
Everybody's anxious around here. All right. Did anybody watch the Buffalo game last night? What happened on the injury? I saw this late. There was a big time like game stopping injury in this game. Was it neck to neck? Was it head to head?
One of the DBs from the
They carted
Bills
off?
went to make a tackle, and his teammate came over the top, and like his neck bent backwards.
Ah, shit.
Let's talk about bowling.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Talk
gruesome
about
sight.
balls and lanes.
Yeah.
Buffalo's the best team in the league.
Why did they
for
play
sure.
both games at the same time?
That drove me crazy.
I didn't understand.
And then
what-
they didn't have. Did they have like a
Romaning
They
split?
had a split screen at one point,
Yeah, but
and
they
then
kept
they would
taking it
they
off.
would take it off and just play the Buffalo game.
Yes, when they
And
had
then-
the split screen, I was like, hell yes, let's do
Yes.
this, and then it would go away.
And then after the game, they went to Scott Van Pelt with Ryan Clark, and then they switched to the Vikings. Who's Vikings?
Vikings Philly.
Vikings
Philly looked pretty good.
Did
last
you
night.
watch
did
it
look
on?
good.
Philly looked good.
Jalen Hurts played great.
NFL.
Wow,
what is it?
Micah Hyde, their starting safety, is the
It
one that
wasn't-
sustained the injury.
It wasn't Micah. Micah Hyde hit him.
Okay.
Hit the guy. I don't know who.
Oh, Milano.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me get his name right here, and I want to make sure and show the
Yes.
proper respect here, and not because it seemed like this was a very. When I turned on the game, Matt Milano, who is a linebacker,
Is there a linebacker? He's a ball player for them too.
He intercepted one of Tannehill's passes, and that's who was injured.
No, Dane Jackson is who got hurt. That's the DB's name.
Okay, I'm sorry. Injuries affected both teams. The most serious involving Bills cornerback Dane Jackson. I'm taking this from ESPN.com, who hurt his neck in a troubling collision with a teammate and was taken to the hospital for further evaluation. The Bills said Jackson had full movement in his limbs, so that's good. Coach Sean McDermott did say after the game that they were still awaiting test results. The entire Bills team gathered around Jackson as he was loaded into the ambulance on the field. McDermott went on to say after the game, you go from being a coach to just a human. That's a real moment. Just praying for him. It's an unfortunate situation. This was last night with Tennessee falling to Buffalo 41-7 as, our thoughts are definitely with Jackson and hope he can make a speedy recovery. And this is just kind of like the ugly part of football sometimes that comes into the game where you see these injuries. But last night, Buffalo, the game on the field, 41-7. Diggs had 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen looked, again, like the best quarterback on the planet, or at least in the discussion as one of them. And Buffalo looks like the best team in the league. Bar none. I don't know who I have seen in the first 3 weeks of NFL action that makes me believe
KC.
that they can possibly play with them. Maybe,
but
if
no, it's Buffalo
if
tier
if
1.
Buffalo is hosting that AFC Championship game in January, I mean,
Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's been
Pretty good.
impressive.
Yeah, they have been.
I mean, they've just been impressive of how explosive they can be. And when you've got Tyreek Hill and you've got Jalen Waddle, there's no way that teams have DBs that can match up with those two guys just from a speed standpoint.
Tannehill's over, right? I
would think so.
Put him in the casket.
Put a bow on that.
Is that Malik Willis, his backup?
Yeah, he played last night.
He played.
Tannehill looked like trash. Kirk Cousins looked like trash.
Oh, my goodness.
It goes to show how important a quarterback is in the NFL because Josh Allen is doing whatever he wants. He's a video game.
Yeah. We have the video of this injury. Do we want to play this?
No.
No?
Why not?
I hate
We're
it
talking
here.
about it. Let's let the people
All right,
see
you
it.
can show it. I just
All
don't. I
right,
don't like it
Lloyd's
because it
cool
can
with it.
happen to anybody. It's just so.
Oh, that's Tremont Edmonds.
From?
Tremont Edmonds
Virginia
from
Tech.
God damn it.
Was VT?
Yep.
Virginia Tech.
Those unis, though, those all whites with a little bit of blue.
Is that?
Ah.
Traylon Burks too from Arkansas.
Traylon?
Yeah.
Philly looked pretty good. Could you
I know.
imagine
Jalen.
Philadelphia and Buffalo in a Super Bowl? Where is the Super Bowl?
Darius Slay.
Did he have 3 picks? 2 picks.
He 2, I think.
Yeah,
He
should have had
Mississippi
3.
State.
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
I'm googling it. I think
God,
my
where is it?
SoFi. Where's that?
SoFi's in LA. That was last year.
No, that was
I was
last
about to
year.
say, wait.
I guess it would be 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What do you
said
mean you
this
guessed?
year.
You dumbass.
I mean, I
Do you know what year we're in?
there was a time in my life where I got so confused about the national championships because I was like the 2003, like they won the 2004 national championships. Like it was the 2003 season. Like I lived in
Arizona, Buffalo, and Philly coming to see you, Scottsdale.
What a time, dude! Cliff Kingsbury opened up the doors.
Buffalo and Philly fans in one town for a week.
That'd be fun.
Shit.
The last
for who?
But the last 2 years have been whoever's hosted has been in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Tampa and then
LA.
and then LA. So Arizona
And they won it.
Arizona, put your futures in now.
What was last year's Super Bowl number? 55?
I hate that they do that too.
I don't really know.
I mean, in however many years they have been playing the Super Bowl, I want to say 56. Cam Newton won, and Von Miller and Peyton Manning played in Super Bowl 50.
That's the one I can remember.
So then, how many years has it been since that one? Has it been 5 or 6 years? So whatever last year, whatever year Tampa Bay went to the Super Bowl in their town, up until that point, it had never happened. It had never happened.
Well, it was supposed to be the Saints.
Right.
Like, the Saints were supposed to play in the Superdome for it kind of lined up that way. And you're like, of course, this is what happens when LSU wins a national championship, always in the Superdome. If the Saints were to win a Super Bowl in the Superdome, shut the city down. Like, even whenever they won it in Miami, I was in New Orleans, and New Orleans was unbelievable. Like, cops were smoking cigars on top of horses. It was like a movie. Well, they were like, kind of like parade routing the thing. They had people that had I saw a PT Cruiser with a speaker in the back that was just playing Stand Up and Get Crunk on a loop, driving in a circle. And people were just like parading around it. Like, I don't know who this person is, but it was just like the entire place came together. So I can imagine if you're able to win a Super Bowl in like your home stadium,
yeah.
like LA doesn't really hit the same, but Tampa, even that. But if you get a city like
what would be the
Buffalo,
funnest town to
New Orleans,
Las Vegas?
Oh, I mean,
Vegas for sure.
Vegas, Miami.
Right?
Think about that, Ben.
I mean, think if you were a championship winner in Miami as a Dolphin.
Miami.
Oh,
straight
yeah.
to the Super Bowl.
I mean,
You're
did you
right.
see what happened in Las Vegas this weekend, though? In the third quarter, they're popping bottles in the stadium, and they lose.
That was so dumb.
And they
That was
Did you see
so
the Kyler
stupid.
Murray run?
Yeah, he ran 85 yards.
It was a 22-second play.
2-point conversion.
The play lasted 21 seconds.
They said that he ran 85 yards in the advanced metrics or whatever in that one play.
God.
He covered 85 yards of turf.
You can't celebrate like that
So
until the game's
fast,
over.
bro. Yeah, I mean,
He
you
looks
had
like
to
a bobblehead.
You had to be
Cannot.
thinking in the moment, like, we're going to be a meme.
Bad
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, and
we're
they
gonna-
are.
we're-
I've seen it
absolutely.
over and
Bad
over.
kid.
Bad kid for
He's
sure.
got- yeah, it's like your son.
Kyler
over there.
Murray?
Like, get back over
just
here.
give him the
terrible
ball.
kid.
Get over here. What are you doing? Come on.
Can't take you anywhere.
Look at this.
He's in
Stop
the
stealing stuff.
He's in the parking lot again.
Yeah. He's sliding down the bowling
Hey,
alley.
is that your kid outside? Yeah. Can't catch him. Sorry.
Yeah.
He'll run back.
Little bastard.
All right, make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here on this Tuesday. Don't forget this afternoon, Hold the Rope. We'll be here at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 o'clock, as you can check the YouTube for Hold the Rope, as they will be recapping the win and the week ahead. And then mic'd up every Monday and Wednesday. Good stuff last night with Brandon Taylor.
Brandon Taylor might be a regular. We're kind of copying your little format of here, like when you get a couple guys that you know can kind of crush it,
Yeah.
and build out a little bit of a template for guests that we want to get. And BT shot himself to the top of the charts last night. He
He's
immediately
always been
got
great.
the show.
He's always been great.
He was there were some backstories about some nights in Tigerland with him and Jared Mitchell, and some practice stories that were unbelievable.
I
so
love those.
go back.
love
We
those.
clipped the full interview. It'll be on YouTube, but go subscribe to Mic'd Up. We're doing some good stuff over there. If anything, it's fun. And if you really are a real Tiger, Mikey's the guy for you. Just
Mikey's just pushing
LSU can still
positivity.
backdoor their way to a national championship. I'm telling you now.
Rehire Panamsky?
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad.
I mean, I don't understand what people are complaining about. It could happen to anybody.
Right, every coach needs an assistant to fluff for, right?
Yeah, he hit me with he goes, we were talking about the extra point. He goes, I mean, they could have made it too. And I was like, oh, no shit. But they didn't.
I guess they could have.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if they make that there.
Right.
Imagine if they go for 2 and get it.
Hit the like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Can we play the Eli Manning?
We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Sports with it. It's just like anything else. I mean, I don't want to get into hyperbole, but it's, everything is. I mean, frankly, I'm still worried more about concussions. We don't talk about it much anymore, but, we've kind of helped solve it in a lot of ways and make the game a lot safer. So anytime we have existential threats, which this one could or could not be, we just deal with it, and we will deal with it. It's just part of the game. And, I don't mind a lot of what's come out of this movement of doing more for the student athletes, but like anything else, it boomerangs a little too far, and you got to swing it back into what we do for the student athletes, and it's a hell of a lot, and I'm proud of that fact that we are leaders in doing that, but we're going to do it right. The Tiger Athletic Foundation and in partnership, obviously, hand in hand with what we do, funded a master plan study because I wanted to see, hey, what we needed, and I just didn't want my opinion. I've been a few places, and I have a good one, I think, but you just want to see how and what our needs are, and so we're in that process of looking at it, and obviously the PMAC is 50 years old this year, and probably needs some updating. It's got good bones, and maybe we can see what we can do with that. Same thing with all that, property that we have both down Nicholson and where we are currently on Nicholson and North Stadium. said, hey, is this the proper use and best use for that? And hand in hand with the university and what we do with TAF, we'll make those decisions, and we'll be prudent and thinking about what and how we do. Yeah, it's kind of weird in a perverse way, Jordy. You know me well, is that I kind of relish it. I do like it. I'm one of the few people that embraces it, and we're very lucky at LSU to have it, to be where we are and to be able to do that. I mean, I can't say that for everyone in the business because it is unsettling in a lot of ways. But for us, change is a good thing, and I think we're going to be the beneficiary of it. And it's not gonna stop. It's just going to keep on going. Yeah. And I'd be lying to you if I told you I had a crystal ball and could tell you what was going on, what's going to happen. But we're going to be here, and we're going to embrace it, and we're going to take advantage of it.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Football God inside of the chat says 12 more likes and Katie will do a foot show for us.
God, I did not agree to that.
Well, that's God. That's God speaking, Katie. I don't know if you had any negotiation in this.
Oh God.
12 more likes. God said we're at 139. 139 plus 12 equals what, Lloyd?
139 plus 12. So if we do 140. It would be 152, so you subtract 151.
There you go, bro.
Right
if we can get to 151 before 9 a.m., Katie will go shoeless and sockless.
I did not agree to this
Ooh,
at
138.
Speaking
wow.
of socks.
140 and climbing.
Brought to you by Dead Soxy.
Yeah, Jamil will do it. Yeah, speaking of socks, I guess they would love this segue.
I'm in. I just hit like twice.
25% off with the code Jordy. They have patented technology. They're made of bamboo. Did y'all know that? That's why
really?
they feel so good.
The socks?
And they're so breathable. The socks, yeah. You don't have any bamboo clothes?
Chinese bamboo.
It's very
strong.
It's
145 and climbing.
Sweating. Stop it. They have patented technology with a no-slip guarantee. They've got purple and gold designs. They have Mardi Gras designs. Order your custom socks for holiday and corporate gifts. You use the code Jordy. Y'all stop it, damn it. I'm trying to do an ad for you. I'm sorry, Dead Soxy.
No, what you should do is take your shoe off and put on a pair of Dead Soxies. That counts. That would be a great promo.
Jeez.
That's a great promo.
25% off with the code Jordy. Deadsoxy.com. Deadsoxy.com. We love to wear Dead Soxy socks. What?
156.
You have to do it.
So weird. No one said I had to do anything.
You should.
What is this?
Football God. Okay, Katie, pull them puppies out.
It's a call from God. You can't deny it.
It has been determined.
Abraham almost killed his goddamn son because God said so.
JT tag. It's time. He just got up and locked his office door.
Put a big slowly.
Hold my meetings. Clear my schedule. The chick on the Culotta show is going footless.
Hunter Fournette said, guys, never let Katie finish.
Yeah.
That was a good
perfect.
One, Hunter. That was good. That was good.
159.
What was the deal? What are y'all talking about? I had to get to 150?
We had to get to 154.
151.
151.
It was 151.
151.
It's at 158 now. So
Bada bing, bada boom. God has spoken.
Some weirdos with your foot stuff.
Brian Burgess is kicking in his office door right now. He's in the meeting. I'm in the meeting again.
Leave me alone.
Brian, we're going to need you to share your calendar with us. If you don't mind. We're going to need a screenshot and a photo upload of the calendar every day. We're done with the updates of when meetings just pop in and out of your corporate federal job.
We'll plan our schedule around yours.
Absolutely. If you could just post your daily schedule, that would be great. Yeah, thanks.
We need you
Compliments
go,
of the Bobs.
We just need you to go ahead and move on down to the basement.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, can we get a look at that video of Eli Manning being Chad Powers, being a walk-on tryout for, what is it, Penn State? Mm-hmm. It is so freaking hilarious.
161.
Okay.
Wow.
If it gets to 200, would you actually do it?
I don't know. No.
Why not?
That's weird.
Did you paint your toes?
210?
Yes, they're painted maroon.
210?
Y'all, I don't know. I feel weird about that.
Keep the peer pressure up, people.
Why
Keep
are your toes so much different than your fingers?
Why to y'all? Here's my hands. Are y'all getting off on this?
Oh, I'm sure somebody is.
Yeah,
Well, I
right.
mean, obviously
Wait, zoom in.
Take off that ring. But I mean, have you ever seen Dickie Roberts? He used to wear gloves everywhere. Former child star.
Why?
Great movie. Because he thought,
Germaphobe?
Mm-hmm. He was like, feet should be like, your hand should be like your feet should be covered.
Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
don't agree with
wow.
that. That's weird.
That is strange.
That's psycho behavior.
Yeah, that is
Oh, yeah,
strange.
because fingerprints, I guess.
Yeah.
Serial
what-
killer.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Speaking
live
of,
in
here's
Baton
Penn
Rouge.
State.
Yeah, what's up with the Penn State thing? I saw this. Eli
It's
Manning.
so
Great hair.
funny. It's so hilarious.
Is this real? I mean,
Do you think like they
nobody
bought
at
into
this
it?
table knows?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody at the table knows. I feel like some coaches have to know. Look
What's
how
the
they're
nose?
the guy in the back.
Chad
Yeah, he's like,
Powers.
what's going on?
Homeschooled.
My mom was my coach.
Not my dad.
I think Danny O'Brien might know. Listen to this guy.
The hair.
The hair.
It's almost too.
But you had to dress him up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Eli Manning.
What's up, pal? Chad Powers.
I'd
Is
never.
that his nose?
I'd never.
No, you got a fake
That's
nose
a prosthetic
on.
nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have never guessed Manning, right?
Right. But
James-
you have to know something.
James
about it.
Franklin
Something's up.
has to know. Well, first off, 6'4", 220 walks in. You're like,
Right.
hold up.
Yeah, our recruiting coordinator's getting fired. Like, how do we not know about this
Yeah,
guy?
who is
Walking
this
through
guy?
the door.
Nose and the everything.
65.
Football God says James Franklin knew. Thank you, God.
Okay,
Years
thank you, God.
ago, so things might change, you know.
I love how he's like standing awkward. Like,
I know.
She knows.
Look at his face. He's stuck in the 80s.
Needs a headband.
Hey, offense over here.
great hair.
When he starts to throw, though.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
when
take
you're
the
like,
whole
whoa.
line
Yeah.
so your hand can go up to the far part of the
I love
white
that they're
line.
teaching him.
We're going to go 140 and roll. We'll call your name. I'll give you a thumbs up. And then
That
it's going
guy's
to be on
Age
you.
71, I don't think you're going to make the squad, brother.
All right, Connery, you're good. On you, man.
I'm gonna go try out for Penn State today.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, go to class.
Water boy?
Okay. 5-0.
You're running a 5-flat 40.
You're on the 40, so you got to throw it, you know.
That looks like 3A high school
His
running right there.
arms, I know.
You know he loves Penn State football more than anything.
No doubt.
Run fast.
I just want to be in the whiteout.
Wait, why does he have the coach's wristband on?
Run fast.
In the whoop.
This flow might slow me down, too. Yeah, it's good, though. Let's go, Chad.
Let's go, Chad.
Let's go, Chad.
He has
How
the
fast do you
He's
think
got the
he is?
Giants cleats on.
Oh.
Fast, Chad. You said it, Parrish. This is for you, baby.
Think fast, run fast, Chad.
This is so awesome. His face with that nose.
Think fast, run fast.
549.
549, coach.
Thought he'd be faster.
See, like you can tell Franklin
When's
knows.
the last team you played
He
on?
totally does.
Yeah. But that's when this is when I'd be like, hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad can play.
Yeah.
I love that he says he was homeschooled. His mom was his coach.
Mom was what? Mom was my coach and my teacher. You get good grades? No.
I mean, that looks like Eli Manning.
Yeah.
She's a good coach, though. Love that. All right, here we go. 3 and inch. Here we go. Up, left.
It would blow your mind, dude.
Can you imagine
Those feet, baby.
the people that don't know?
It's coming back. Here we go. We put on a show today. Here again. Up, ball.
I mean, it's like
And he
perfect.
gets to throw a college ball.
Spin it. That's right. Look up Arm Pound Dictionary. It's a picture of Chad. Chad Powers. You ain't seen nothing like him. Not just good looking. I can throw it, baby. Chad.
This goes in
That's
his
what we call it in
chest.
Penn State Stadium. Chad. Brady can play till he's 44. Chad can play till he's 26. You know.
He's so funny.
He's
He is.
hilarious. They
He's the
both
big
are.
winner out of all
I
this.
love this.
He's been the biggest winner out of anybody.
Don't leave a mark on that one.
It's so good. I hope
is
they
so
make
good.
a part 2. They have to continue.
No,
this.
now the cat's out the bag. Chad's out the bag.
Is this like a part of his
But not
Eli's
to,
Places
but I want to see
thing?
the rest of it.
I
I
don't
want
know.
to see the rest of what they did. That's so funny.
They didn't have the Manning cast last night.
No,
man.
they didn't. I was so sad.
Two
they
games.
did promo it for the next one though.
Could you imagine? I mean, Peyton watching 2 games at once.
No.
Oh my
We get a timeout
that,
over
though.
here. we got a kill clock over here. I need a timeout.
Robo malfunction, dude.
Yeah,
His neck might fall off.
Then he goes, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. they gave him a counter like 64 times.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, I think
We gotta
64
call
he's
a
like-
timeout right here.
I mean, at one point he's like,
We gotta
call the timeout. Call the timeout. We got to call a timeout.
We gotta
We gotta call- What are they doing, E? E, what are they doing?
We got to get
E,
one
what are
here,
they
right?
doing?
We got to burn one, right?
It's like he's an astronaut sitting in space, like talking back to Houston. Like, what are they doing?
Tell me,
like, what is going on? Somebody tell me. Somebody explain to me what the hell's going on down
Elon's
there.
just like, I don't know, Pay.
Yeah, he's like, Pate, I don't know, man. I think they're trying to run the clock down.
He's like, oh, maybe they're trying to draw him offside because that's what they wasted
Yeah,
a
he's like,
lot of
they don't have time
time.
for that.
It's like, oh,
Shannon Sharp. So you mean to tell me they wasted 30 seconds to call a timeout?
And Shannon's swinging his dog around. You're like, that
So
poor
good.
dog is going to just go out the window. Hey, he's
So good, dude.
And Peyton, after they don't call a timeout, his hand's on his head. He pulls his hair out, and he's just, what are they doing? What are we going to do? No, they're going to kick a field goal. All right, they're going to go field goal here, E.
And Manny, and he's like,
I don't like it. McManus got the leg for it. We'll see. I mean, imagine if he was actually the quarterback and going into that locker room. Peyton Manning would just destroy you. He'd have been like, first of all, he would have called. I'm calling a timeout.
yeah, right.
Wait, what
no
are we
doubt.
doing? Hey, Coach,
And see, like, that's on, like, kind of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're that guy, if you're that quarterback, if you're the guy that the franchise has given up $170 million, however much they gave up for him to get, I mean, make that choice. You know what I mean? Like, and if Nathaniel Haskett asks you afterwards, like, what were you thinking? I was saving your ass.
Yeah,
is what I was doing. You want to wake up tomorrow and be the center point of every talking head in America, talking about how unqualified you are for your job? I was saving you, buddy.
Yeah,
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, we got 2 more.
So you're
talk this
welcome.
over
Next time.
Or Hackett's going, why don't you call a timeout? It's like, why did you call a timeout? Like, am I supposed to do that, or are you supposed to? Somebody needed to do something, and we did nothing. And kicked a 4-yard field goal. Almost made it. They won last week, though. So they're back.
Did you watch the games on Red Zone last night?
No, just Sundays.
Okay.
They just do
Oh,
Sundays.
it's just Sundays?
Yeah.
Oh. I wondered if they had the split the whole
I need
time.
to get into this Amazon.
I don't know if they did it last night with
It's
the
pretty good.
It's so
what Amazon has a red zone.
No, Amazon has the
That's
Thursday night football.
Oh yeah, no,
Did you
I
see
saw
all
that.
the memes
Like,
about
yeah,
people
I
like
watched
trying
that.
to get their parents
You need
logged
that?
on to
That's so
Amazon to watch?
I was about to say, too, I
I
got
was
an
like
account
that
if
too
you
for
need
a
one.
second. I was like, this is so frustrating.
we'll
I
link
gotta
up.
log in on
We'll
this
link
TV.
Yeah. Yeah, the Amazon Prime is a total parent move. Like, you have to, like,
Totally.
oh, hey, how have you been?
Yes.
Can I FaceTime you real
Yeah,
quick?
yes.
Can you explain this?
I'm not buying anything.
They
I'm just
lost
logging
viewership
in.
for sure. Thursday Night Football did with that. I mean, maybe people have it together better this week, but that was tough for people.
Yeah, everybody was looking for it.
Yeah.
It was like, where's the Thursday night game?
Yes.
It's supposed to be on ESPN.
Exactly.
And Prime spared no expense. Like, they had the 4K cameras. Bezos was up there chewing on Goodell's ear. Like,
Yeah,
I can
he
buy
was.
your little league.
You know I could buy this.
I could buy all 32
This
teams.
is a cute little league you got
Yeah,
here.
it's a fun little operation you got.
Right. How much you want for it?
How come you don't play every 2 days?
I'll overpay $2 billion to it.
Yeah.
I saw one that was like football, but in space.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
2024
Let's
coming on
remind
Amazon
everybody
Prime.
about our new Caesars code before we go, though. It's FM full, letter F, letter M full. And don't forget about the emails that you're receiving if you already are signed up for Caesars. You should have received one last week for the LSU-Tennessee game. Every bet that you're making, if you opted in on that email, every bet that you're making between now and that game enters you for another chance to win tickets to that game. So look for your emails, get them out of your junk mail. If you haven't signed up yet, FM full, letter F, letter M full, and opt into those emails and start getting those promos.
FM Full, get over there. It's our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. Download the app today if you want a shortcut. You can see it right there in the top right of your screen. Use the QR code, and you can get to our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook as if you use the promo code FM Full.
Jack just texted me. He said he wants to see feet for his birthday.
Oh, wow.
Would you, I mean, I know you're a big birthday gift giver, and you didn't get him anything except for a text.
I mean, what a play, Lloyd. What a play you got going there.
Man sent a message.
Trying to guilt me in with Jack.
200
and he's back
likes.
in town. We thought we lost him forever
He's
to New
coming
York
back.
City. He's
I
back.
know. New York City.
Not for him.
We love Jack.
Wait, he's back in town?
He's coming
yeah,
back.
He's coming back.
He's coming back.
Send us a little countdown for the Culotta show, little timer to go before we do our trailer. So now I have a 2-minute ticker. It says FM. The Jordy Culotta show starts in 2 minutes.
Jackie.
Still working.
Bored.
Jackie on your backy.
Right. All right, the deal was if we got to 180 likes, we were going to show feet. We're at 175, and we got a sign off. We will talk to you tomorrow.
You weirdos.
Hopefully, we can get the likes up so we can check them toes out, or we'll have a little behind the scenes report for you of what they look like tomorrow morning.
I wonder
as Jamil and Katie have both gone sockless here for the rest of the day.
Finder?
I never finished my sign up.
I finished. You have an account.
I know, but I'm not going to go with Carpool Queen 69 as my account.
What do you want it to be?
I don't know.
Such a great name.
It is great. I'm not going to lie. It is a great name. I can't argue that. It's a little much.
I knew a girl in high school that had web feet.
That's weird.
She was a
like
swimmer.
All the toes were webbed?
Her top two.
She was a swimmer for real? That really helped.
Oh, no, I don't know, but I mean, I feel like God probably I should probably try to swim.
Find a pool.
Yeah, see what happens. But it was weird.
Are we having Coach on tomorrow to teach us some more football?
Yes, he'll be here.
That's our Manning cast.
Coach Caskey will be here breaking down some LSU film. And we will also start looking ahead for we'll look back at Saints stuff as well. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Have a great day. We appreciate you being here with us. Make sure and tune in to Hold the Rope coming up tonight, 6 o'clock on their station. Hold the Rope YouTube. Find them. And we'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Like and share. Compliments to Go Chevrolet.
Stephanie.
If y'all get her into doing something she clearly doesn't feel comfortable doing, then the guys have to start stripping. I love that, Stephanie.
Hey, I'll strip.
I'll strip right now.
And we're out. See ya.
Hell yes.